Hello, listeners. Welcome back to the Night Signal. As always, this is Broadcaster 7. The RMS Queen Mary is said to be the most haunted hotel in America. But before it was a luxury hotel, it was an ocean liner fit for royalty and a transport ship in a time of war. Its sordid past is rife with stories of death, murder, and intrigue. So come with me if you dare and wander the lower decks aboard the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary sailed on her maiden voyage on the 27th of May, 1936. Her Art Deco style and grand splendor reflected the decadence of the British Empire at the beginning of the turn of the century. She sailed primarily in the North Atlantic from 1936 to 1967 for the Conyard White Star Line and was built in Clydebank, Scotland. At the onset of the Second World War, the Queen Mary was converted into a troop transport. She was painted a new shade of gray to camouflage her from her enemies. Because of this, she was given the nickname of the Grey Ghost. On October 2nd, 1942, the Queen Mary accidentally sliced through the light cruiser HMS Corocoa, causing the death of 239 souls off the shores of Ireland. Due to the risk of U-boat attacks, the Queen Mary was ordered not to stop and left the survivors of the Corocoa in the water to be rescued by others. During the war, the Queen Mary transported thousands of American troops across the Atlantic Ocean. It not only carried these soldiers, but their worries, their fears, their hopes, and their dreams of the future. There's a lot of power in that. All of those lives, all in one place. Curiously enough, one of those lives was my grandfather. On September 27, 1967, the Queen Mary completed her final Atlantic crossing and was retired from service. She carried just over 2 million passengers, just shy of 4 million miles. That's just over 6 million kilometers. She finished her journey in Long Beach, California, where she still sits today, converted into a luxury hotel. But that's not where our story ends. It seems that Queen Mary's past has decided to stick around, and some say it likes to come out and play. It is said that hundreds of spirits roam the decks and hallways of the Mary. Soldiers, aristocrats, servants, all attached to the places where they lived, worked, played, and died. If you find yourself in the right place and the right time on the Mary, you might meet them. Stateroom B340 is one such place. After a British third-class passenger, Walter J. Adamson, passed away in the room under mysterious circumstances, guests report hearing someone knock on the door in the middle of the night, and they report seeing bathroom lights mysteriously turn on and off. Some have reported that the bed covers are pulled off in the middle of the night. Maids even report that water is all over the bathroom floor, even when guests aren't staying in that room. The Mayflower Room was once the ship's beauty salon, but was later converted into offices for the hotel. Once, an employee came to work early and felt like the offices were off. She went about her morning, but suddenly felt bone-chillingly cold. She then felt someone brush her shoulder, but no one was there. Minutes after that, the employee saw a transparent figure in white walk across the room and pass through the door. The woman fled the office and never went back alone again. The first-class swimming pool sits abandoned, a shadow of its luxurious past. Although no longer in use, the pool remains a hotbed of paranormal activity on the ship. People have reported seeing a number of ghosts here, including a young woman walking down the stairs and disappearing behind a pillar, a woman in an old wedding gown next to the pool with a little boy in a suit, and an eerie cloud of steam appearing out of nowhere, along with a little girl in a blue and white dress who disappears into the darkness. Another horrible tale is of the poor cook. When the Queen Mary was being used as a troop transport in World War II, a riot broke out due to troops complaining over the bad food. The soldiers stormed the kitchen and overpowered the chef. After struggling and failing to fight off his attackers, the chef was shoved in the oven. He died shortly after as a result to severe burns all over his body. Dishes and plates are reported to move on their own, and if you make comments on the quality of the meal, you might get a shove. Just don't get too close to the ovens. Then, there's the gruesome story of hatch door number 13. It was the site of a gruesome accident that resulted in a crew member being crushed to death. In 1966, the watertight doors in the engine and boiler rooms were ordered to be closed. 5 minutes later, an 18-year-old crew member from Yorkshire was found crushed in the door of hatch number 13, trapped with his arms pinned to the side. Although he was alive when the crew found him, he later died of his injuries in the infirmary. His ghost is often seen by the door and in the surrounding hallways. People report the sound of someone running behind them and whistling. Others have said to find greasy fingerprints on their faces and on their clothes. Some see a bearded man out of the corner of their eye when they're alone in the dark. You can hear some sort of wrench rapping and turning metal if you listen closely enough at night, as if the man is still working in the dark to fix the ship that ended up killing him, forever stuck in the place he died. If you had the chance, would you stay on the Queen Mary? Would you wander the depths of its corridors and hallways at night? Well, good news, listeners. A stay at the Mary is just a click away. It seems the hotel will be reopening just in time for Halloween 2022. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this one, click like and subscribe. And remember, this is Broadcaster 7 saying, are you ready to receive the night signal?